and it still worked for him. We gazed down on the green gold trees, tidy hedges, and rambling walkways of a park. "It's a great view." I glanced at his profile. "I really appreciate this." "No problem. Make yourself at home. If you're hungry—" He frowned, considering. "There's cereal or something. Eggs. Anyway, you'll manage." "I will. I'm good at foraging." "I've got to get back to work." George's smile was distracted, his mind on whatever he was rushing back to. "I'll be back around 6 or so. Are you okay here on your own?" "Of course, yes, absolutely." I was hungry, but more than anything, I wanted a shower and a sleep. "Thank you again for coming to get me." He left the room, and I followed him to the front door. George opened the door, but hesitated. "What did you have planned for this evening?" "Oh, What was the protocol here? Was it less of a hassle if I said I had plans?" "Would you like to go out for dinner?" "Yes." I was even happier at the thought of not having to eat alone. "Any preference?" I remembered my list. "If you don't mind, I want to eat at one of the really famous hotel restaurants, one of the classics, Claridge's or the Savoy or maybe the Criterion. Is that the one with the Turkish baths in Piccadilly Circus?" "Turkish baths?" George looked grave, which I remembered was his trying not to laugh face. I felt my own face getting warm. "I don't actually care where we go," I said, which wasn't exactly true because with only 4 nights in England, I didn't want to waste a whole dinner, but spending the evening with George would not be a waste. "Right. I'll treat you to dinner at Claridge's. How's that?" "That would be great," I admitted. "See you tonight." He turned away, but then turned back. "It's great having you here, Jefferson." His smile was brief, but seemed genuine. His eyes crinkled at the corners in the way I remembered. Then he was gone. I closed the door and looked around the luxuriously Spartan apartment. Lots of natural light, lots of space. It really was nice, and I had it all to myself until George got back in 6 hours. I took a quick tour and again thought that it didn't look how I'd imagine an editor's home would. Not nearly enough books and papers. But then everything was done on computers now, right? I wandered into the living room. Several tall white shelves contained a few art objects that did not look like the kind of stuff George would like, and a lot of hardcover books with titles like A Documentary History of Communism and the World, Global Cultures, National Defense, and the ever-popular Multilateralism and National Defense. They were all published by a company called Aquila Books, which I guessed was the publishing house George worked for. I continued to scope out the flat. The door to another bedroom, the master bedroom, stood wide open, so I poked my head inside. It looked pretty much identical to the guest bedroom. Big bed, bigger lamps, and more built-in cupboards. The most notable difference was a large watercolor hanging over the bed. It was done in vibrant red and orange hues, and it portrayed 2 naked men embracing. Embracing was not exactly... One man was sort of sitting in the other guy's lap, and the other guy was... Anyway, it was explicit and embarrassing. I felt hot and uncomfortable just standing there, looking at it.